Good morning, it's Tom. It's Negotiating with Jesus. Today's video, I already have it figured out, so it's going to be comedy and tragedy. So if you look at if you go to a show, you go to Broadway, you go to a show, it has this image of what shows are. It's got these two masks, so actors wear masks, and we love to do these, they're not called masks, what is it called? Filters. So people can put on filters, and obviously what you'd want to filter is all this age. You want to filter that out and put beauty, put a mask of beauty over yourself. And it's what we do on our phones, is we want to project the beauty, the mask that is, it hides flaws, and it's what humans do. So flaws, hide them, and it's what acting is. So they get 20 chances to say their line just right or look so beautiful that you want to be them. So acting is this lie, it's lying. They put on masks. So the mask, if you go to the show, is one mask is an image of somebody laughing. The other mask is an image of somebody frowning and in tears. So what Hollywood or what the theater is, it only shows these two masks, the laughing and the crying, because there really are only two things. There are comedies and there are tragedies. And in a comedy, and this is some theological or philosophical idea, it's something, because we all have these religions and these philosophies that we just kind of trust. And if you're watching a comedy, the ending is a wedding party. It's a party where people are laughing and they're clinking glasses. There's a toast, there's laughter, there's joy, there's happiness. Everyone lives happily ever after. That's the comedy. That's the wedding. And the romantic stories are where there's this boy meets girl. It's beautiful. There's some kind of height of love, and then this loss, this depth of, oh, you didn't love me after all. There's final reunion, and they end up married or together in some way. And in the end, it's a wedding. It's all the Disney princess stories. In the end, the princess meets the prince. The beast becomes a prince. In tragedy, there are tears at the end. So Romeo and Juliet, this love story, these difficult times where the families don't allow it, and this ultimate loss where both parties think the other is dead and they both kill themselves. So tragedy. Now, we want comedy, but what I was going to talk about was this idea that the two are linked, comedy and tragedy. So when you tell jokes, the idea of telling stories, telling jokes, all our laughter is connected to tragedy. So I always tell the story of a child when they're 3 years old, they're already walking around noting that that humor is tied to pain. So if I clonk my head on something, a 3-year-old goes, ha ha ha, that's funny. If you see somebody slip on the ice, that idea that they lose control, their arms are flailing, and they land right on their back, it's funny. But there's a limit. It's not funny if you see their head crack open and brains fly out. All of a sudden, it's a tragedy. And the person dies. So dying, 2 died in that ship into the bridge. I think they found 2 bodies so far. But it's not clear to me. I haven't followed the story. But so that's tragedy. The families will go to a funeral. They'll be crying. They'll try and find the joy. They'll try and find, memories that give them some hope that it's not just the end of the world, but it's the end of those 2 guys' world. But we don't want life to be a tragedy. We want it to be a wedding feast. We want it to be a comedy. So the last thing I wanted to mention was, so this idea that the two are connected. And one of the things about comedy, if you're going to be funny, make sure you test the waters on self-deprecating humor. Put yourself in the tragedy role. Don't just tell jokes about how they are stupid, or have you ever seen how stupid this group of people is? And it's part of comedy is to poke at others. But the best part is to, if you can't take it, don't dish it out. These sayings that are obviously true. So take it. If you want people to in some way love you and love your comedy, be sure to throw yourself under the bus sometimes too, not just others. How annoying will you be if you're constantly throwing others under the bus? Take a few hits yourself. That's the comedy strategy, that you use self-deprecating humor to show yourself that you're willing to take it. I can take a joke. So that's part of it. And the last thing I wanted to mention was that connection, because, and it's so strange that the world actually is like this. Why do you think they call it a punchline? Because the punchline is when somebody gets struck. A punchline is where the joke lands on somebody. In Wile E. Coyote, it's the boulder landing on the coyote's head. And it might be annoying to you that Roadrunner never gets caught. But the idea that a punchline is the tragedy that's not so tragic that it's the end, everybody dies. The coyote does not die. So you can take that punchline where it is a hard landing. So punchline, and that's interesting. And if you can't take it, don't dish it out. That's part of the comedy tension. So that's my quick video. I also I recorded a video yesterday. I recorded 2 videos that I haven't posted. One was music, which was a terrible instruction of music. I also have a video of me racing the neighborhood kids and my daughter. I'm going to try and add a Bible reading, just a chapter a day of going through Mark, the book of Mark, so you can hear some Jesus stories, because they really are the best stories in the world. That's why they're 2,000 years old, and people still will give all to this carpenter. And it's Easter weekend, so I have to start getting that going. Some music videos, and I'll continue just telling you about whatever. That's it for now. Bye.